Well, for more on this, let's bring in our Democratic strategist, Dave Jacobson. He's a campaign consultant for Shulman Communications. He also previously worked for Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign. Dave, always good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
The debate about more debates. They're going to meet in New Hampshire, I know, to think of more.
Right.
They're going to meet in New Hampshire, and it seems as if there will be more added to the calendar. What does that say about the changing dynamics of this race?
Right. It's an evolving process, right? But typically you see like a debate challenge from an underdog candidate. Hillary Clinton's leading by 20 points nationally, but in New Hampshire, she's down by 20 points, right? So she's the candidate who's sort of driving the conversation for debates. It makes sense for Bernie Sanders to say, hey, listen, if we're going to do debates, I want to get multiple debates. I want them to go on for months, long into the primary season, particularly because he's the underdog nationally.
Let's talk about Martin O'Malley. No, just kidding.
Right.
Okay, explain to me what was the logic behind hiding Hillary Clinton in the first place with regards to these debates. I mean, hit it on long weekends, off the schedule, prime time. There was only a couple of them scheduled compared to the Republicans.
Right.
Hillary Clinton is a very, very good debater.
Right.
She is not so good at campaigning. This is her strength. Why wouldn't they show off her strength?
Right. I think initially she was the inevitable candidate. She was the front runner. They didn't want to open her up to any gaffes or attacks. Bernie Sanders wasn't
That worked
a real...
well.
Yeah, right, exactly. But Bernie Sanders initially, he wasn't a real candidate. He was sort of a fringe candidate.
Yeah.
But he's tapped a nerve in this country. He's tapped a nerve on people's frustration and their anger and their anxiety over what's going on. And the income inequality is also something that's really resonating with people. So he's turned this into a real race. And now she's in a position where she's the underdog in New Hampshire asking for debates.
So now it's a real race. Now Bernie's in it to win it, by all accounts. Not that he wasn't
For sure.
before, but he definitely, he's turned it up, let's be honest.
Right.
So the question now becomes, are we watching this race go negative? I mean, we saw the Bernie Sanders ad released
Right.
today. It doesn't name Hillary Clinton,
Right.
but does
But it
talk
names
about
Hillary
rules.
Clinton,
Yes,
yeah.
but I'm just saying,
$600,000
to be accurate,
Right.
it doesn't name,
Sure.
doesn't say her name.
Right.
Are we watching things go down a different path?
Right. I think we're seeing the race and both candidates sort of sharpen their attacks because Iowa really is a nail-biter contest. For Iowa, and Bernie Sanders sort of has to win both of those states, Iowa and New Hampshire, if he's going to propel his campaign forward for the long haul. At the end of the day, Hillary doesn't have to win Iowa, but if she shuts him down in Iowa, we all know he's going to win New Hampshire. It's game over for him. He's done, dead in the water.
Because she'll pick up South Carolina.
Yes.
Right.
Pretty much a certainty. Okay, Vice President Joe Biden had a bit of fun at a lunch for Democrats. Today, talking about the current Republican field and the infighting, he delivered a couple of good zingers. This was one of them. Let's listen.
By the way, we may be given a gift from the Lord in the presidential race here. I don't know who to root for more, Cruz or Bush, what's that guy's name? He's having a fundraiser for veterans tonight, I'm told.
What's that guy's
Well,
name?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a good couple of laughs there. But in a hypothetical matchup, you know, Trump against Sanders or Clinton, it's pretty close. So, you know, is there a danger here that, you know, from the Democrat side, they're looking at Trump and then maybe there's just this overconfidence here?
Well, I think that's part of the issue with Hillary. She's sort of running a general election campaign right now. You're seeing her brand as, I'm the experienced leader. I can bring people together to solve problems. She's sort of portraying herself as the candidate who can appeal to those independent voters in Ohio and Florida, Pennsylvania, Colorado, who ultimately are going to determine who's going to win the general election. Bernie Sanders, on the other side, is sort of putting himself in a position where he's going for the 50-state strategy. He believes he never has to sort of go back into the middle. He believes he can create a political revolution and ultimately prevail at the ballot box in the November election. I don't know that that's realistic at the end of the day.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to speak to you.
Always
Sure.
good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Well, ahead on CNN, a small band of armed protesters